Panthers and the Niners coming up tonight. And oh, by the way, the Raiders have fired the offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. You may not have known that he was with the Raiders. He was with Ohio State when they won a national championship and probably tripled his pay going to the Raiders as the offensive coordinator, and he has been fired. Chiefs over the Colts, we wondered about the Colts in a big moment. You're up 20-9. This is yours. You're going to do the rest of the NFL a favor. You're going to beat the Chiefs at the Chiefs. And all of a sudden, you lose that game. It's a double whammy, I think, for the Colts, because you just don't want to keep the Chiefs alive. You don't. Nobody wants them alive in the AFC, and you kept them alive. When Mahomes had the ball, I said, they're going to win this game. And that's exactly what he does. Daniel Jones, you kept waiting, and then all of a sudden it felt like that offense went stale, went conservative, and the Chiefs are playing playoff football right now. They have to, because they're not a great team. They're not a very good team, but they're an opportunistic team. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you have a chance. The receivers are pretty good. Defense is pretty good, and you got Andy Reid as well. But the Chiefs could have done the AFC a favor there. Cowboys over the Eagles. That's one of those where you go, wow, that was quick, 21-0. But give credit, Dak Prescott. This is what we asked for with the Cowboys. That offense has been elite. All you're looking for is an average defense. And you're down 21-0. They looked average, below average. And then all of a sudden, they made some big stops. They got some turnovers there. And the Eagles, once again, we have questions about them. Got big questions about that team. Here is Brian Schottenheimer talking about Dak Prescott.
He's one of a kind, man. He really is. Just his leadership, his poise, the way he plays the game, the way he always believes. You know, you talk about when some of your best players are the guys that believe the most, and they know that they're going to find a way and help raise the other guys to raise the standard. And we've got a lot of guys like that now. But I know he won't say it, but that's a pretty cool record that he broke. And to do it on a game like this where we beat a really good football team the way we did, I'm sure makes it even sweeter.
Yeah, he passes Tony Romo on the all-time yardage list there with the Dallas Cowboys. But you're watching this, and I kept thinking, okay, Saquon Barkley didn't even get to 30 yards. Had a fumble. I don't know how much blame you're putting on the quarterback or you're putting on the offensive coordinator, but feels like there's enough blame to go around. You know, all of a sudden, A.J. Brown scores a touchdown. I go, all right, everybody's going to be happy today. And then all of a sudden, Dallas played playoff football because, once again, they're in playoff form, or at least mode. You have to win. Now, they have a couple other tough games coming up. You got the Chiefs coming up on Thanksgiving. You got the Lions after that. Let's just say they win those games. Now, all of a sudden, you got a real conversation here. And that Chiefs game against the Cowboys will be probably one of the top 5 most watched regular season games in NFL history because it's Thanksgiving, it's the Cowboys, it's the Chiefs. I had a couple other games that stood out. The Rams look tremendous. The Buccaneers are banged up, and Baker Mayfield may have gotten banged up in the process, but Matthew Stafford right now, he is a clear favorite for MVP. Bears beat the Steelers. Steelers without Aaron Rodgers there. But Patriots, Lions in overtime. The Packers, Seahawks, Ravens, Browns, Jags, Falcons. As far as the Browns go, you got enough out of Shedeur Sanders. I think you got almost one of those morale boosts. Like you got somebody who's going to come in, he's excited, not afraid to throw the ball downfield. He did okay. And it's one of those where he helped the team win. They didn't win in spite of him. Boy, that defense is great. They had 10 sacks. Woo. And this is where we almost look at the opposite of the Dallas Cowboys. If the offense is average with an elite defense, they should be really good. It's just they haven't had the offense. But, you know, he had 3 big plays. And what stood out is going to sound strange. He didn't run. He didn't try to do those crazy, let me extend a play like I'm, back at Colorado. I think he had 1 rush for a -1 yards. He didn't have an interception, but I mean, you're playing against the Raiders who aren't very good, but, you should win those games. And they did. And give credit to him. Had a couple of big plays, and for the most part, that defense was wonderful. And because of that, you got that victory. Now, as far as who's going to start, I mean, that's going to be the big question for Kevin Stefanski because, Dylan Gabriel, because of the concussion, wasn't playing. You're not supposed to lose your job because of an injury. But in this case, I want to see a little bit more of Shedeur Sanders. And I think he's earned it. I don't think Dylan Gabriel's done anything where you go, you got to go back to him. You don't. I would let Shedeur Sanders play again. But I hope that we're just letting him play. Let's not have any stupid hot takes today, okay? He's just a quarterback right now. He acted like a fifth-round quarterback, and he got a chance to play with the first team. They had a game plan that they could give to him, for him, and they ended up winning that game. They got the Niners coming up next. Maybe we'll see a little bit more. And that might be a little bit more good and a little bit more bad. But that goes along with being a rookie quarterback. I don't care if you're the number 1 overall pick or you're a fifth-round pick. You're going to have mistakes. I wanted to see the confidence, and he had the confidence because he even said, those waiting for me to fail, I'm not going to fail. But if I'm a teammate and if I'm Myles Garrett, you go, we got something here. And maybe they do. I mean, that defense is great. You're going to have the defensive player of the year. You're going to have the defensive rookie of the year. And they hit the quarterback 20 times. They had 10 sacks. It felt like if you didn't get a sack, shame on you. So that game stood out only because this is his moment. His dad's there in the building. You're playing against a team that I thought was going to draft him. And then all of a sudden you hear revisionist history where Antonio Pierce says, well, if I was there, we would have drafted him. Coaches don't make the calls, especially relatively new coaches don't make the calls on their quarterback. So maybe he wanted Shedeur Sanders, but he wasn't going to be making the call there. Seton, what's the poll question here in the first hour of the program?
Got one here from Marvin. Most surprising division leader, Colts, Broncos, Bears, Patriots.
Bears. Yeah, Bears. I think they're a good team. I do. I think you're starting to see maybe a comfort level with coach and quarterback. I think that relationship's going to work out. I know there's been some people in my business who didn't think this was going to work out, which was interesting because you only gave them a couple of games before you make that declaration. This is going to take a little bit of time for Caleb. And given what happened to him prior to Ben Johnson coming in, I think he just has to get rid of what he did at USC and understand what you have to do in the NFL. And the more he's able to do that, the more successful he's going to be. And he's got talent there. Got a good tight end, a couple of good receivers there. And you got Ben Johnson helping you along the way. He kind of gives you the answers to the test. But I would say the Bears, the Jaguars are probably the least imposing 7-win team right now. Because, they won again, and then I'm watching the game, and I'm like, I still don't know what, Jacksonville has with Trevor Lawrence. Like, I'll go, all right, and then I'll go, oh. There's, it felt like there were 3 or 4 of those moments where you went, man, and then you went, man. Yeah, Seton.
Yeah, I would put the Patriots up there too. They were 4-13 last year, 10-2 this year. Same division as the Bills, who thought they would be down. Yeah. I don't know that anybody really expected the Dolphins to be this terrible this year, but I think that's a pretty surprising result.
Well, I think most people had the Lions going to the Super Bowl, or they had the Packers in the playoffs. We thought the Vikings would be a little bit better. Vikings have a problem. Vikings have a J.J. McCarthy problem. And this is a long-term problem because you let these other quarterbacks go. He's only in year 2. Now, only in year 2, but then at what point do you say, is he our future? And I'm watching. You got the best receiver in football. You have 2 of the best receivers in football. He just, at times, looks like he's vanilla. Like there's not much, where he's putting pressure on the defense. Now, he did have a couple of really good throws. He had one throw to Jefferson that was pretty incredible. So I don't know. Once again, embryonic stages of these quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, or a guy who didn't play much, hasn't played that much. But, you start to look at the other quarterbacks and the development of them, and the Vikings went all in on him. Cousins goes, Danny Dimes goes, Sam Darnold goes, and then all of a sudden you're like, he's our guy. But, you're locked in for another year, but you wasted a high first-round pick on him. And it goes back to what I said when he's at Michigan. I don't think they ever asked him to win a game. Maybe they didn't need to. He was good in the playoffs, but, that you're waiting for something there. And he's got talent, got athleticism. He's got all those things, ingredients, and you got a really good head coach. But it feels like they got a problem.